that. So what I want you to do is literally touch hands. Got that foot? Okay. Do that. Okay. All the way back around to take that dominant off of it and turn him over into here. Okay? You do the same. But don't really think about it. Just do it. There you go.
Yeah, the close enough you get of Papa Joe, that's kind of the rare footage.
Because what you're doing is you're stepping in, just put the edge right back on you again. And then you got to do that same step over again to get the edge on. So you're turning this way, you step that way to take the edge off. You got to make him go in. You don't really make him go over, just make it so that he has to be there because he's going to lose hand contact. That's a good step. Good step. That time, you could turn out on him when he had you there. There you go. You got that push up now. You turn that completely away and take that edge off of that whip. You'd be here and you've got this pressure. There you go. The step is you want to lose your balance. There you go. Both hands. Okay? I don't want no fighting stance. I don't want anyone to fight. All I want you to do is follow the hands. Follow the hands. Try one hand first so you don't get confused and end up swapping hands. And we don't. Switch aggression. Listen now. Switch aggression without each other knowing. No, one does an aggression and the other one do the same, but you stay together so that your hands are pushing each other away. Follow. Follow. Start out nice and short. Okay, keep going. Reach out to the back side. It's the same thing. Over here, but the flank is here.
And then you switch it back, right?
You don't use the body shot quick because you're keeping yourself forward or backwards. All you want to be able to do is to direct the pressure that's coming to you away from you and be on the other side of you. You're taking that, taking this, you're actually doing that on that. You don't have to. The whole thing about accepting that is to be able to get this by getting yourself into a full position. So if I want to drift back and take this movement to make you go over here, then I've got that where I'm not beginning to watch that part of my leg. And I'm actually, when you come here, that's what I'm going to do. That's all the it's got there. Now, go away, it's here, where everything else goes on. And the nice part about getting this lead over there, that leg's already in. Just came. Because the big part about it, once I get you committed to this, all I gotta do is this. Yeah. There's no direction your hand should go. They just go. If you start using dominant force, you're going against the whole grain of the whole thing. You're not learning to be able to get your hand between your opponent's hand and your body.
Everyone hear this? Joe, just come on in. Come in a little tighter. No dominant force. You're missing the whole thing. You want to just go with the flow.
You want to be able to keep your hand between your opponent's hand and your fist or your body. So when you go like this and move over top of his head, he's actually keeping his hand between, your hand and his face. If it goes over top of the head, if you start applying force, that force can be misconceived and directed in the same spot that you're going for, which is nobody there. I don't know about anybody doing any soliciting, but if ain't nobody home, there ain't no sense of knocking on the door. So you've got to be able to accept not a force, but a touch, so that you actually learn to put. I know you learned this stuff a long time ago, because when my father raised his hand, the first thing that went to my head was my hand, because I didn't want to get put on the snug. So when I did that, I had something between his hard hand and my hard head. It was a soft hand. I learned to go the other direction, and I go get away from it. So if you do that and you start applying force, you're not getting the rhythm of what it takes to put your hands between your opponent and you. And the minute you start stepping over and trying to dominate, you can't do that with a trained fighter. You're supposed to be becoming trained fighters. You're supposed to be becoming instructors to be able to go out there and teach these people how your kids, so your kids learn what you've learned and be the warrior that you're teaching. So you're not the warrior, you're just the instructor for the warrior. Then you learn how your opponent, how your students react to your situations. You learn more from somebody that doesn't know nothing, and you're going to learn from a sensei, because the sensei is learning from your gurus. So you've got to be able to not force that dominant thing over, but accept everything so that your hands, when they get to a vital spot, your hand is where your vital spots are. Is it making any sense?
Yes, sir.
Because the whole part about it, once you accept the dominant force, you can turn that anywhere. You can put it in your pocket, you can take it out to the curb, drop it in the fire, into the...
Just show me your hand.
Yeah. No, about the false stroke. Now, if he's going to come from here to here with a force, I'm going to be able to put the force there. I don't have to misguide that thing way over there. All I got to do is make sure that he don't hit me in my jib. And that's exactly what you're doing. When you take this force in there, that's what you're doing. If he puts more force to there, you see that cheating on here? But anyway. When you come, you're being able to accept that force, and you're accepting it that way back here. What does it take to make it go from here to here, from here to here? Nothing. It's done. It doesn't take a force. All you're doing is directing it away from you. So if he double jabs you, you just hang with it. You know, I didn't do that. Double jab, dude.
Knock on wood.
Do you see how many options I've got just trying to get this away from me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I can stop that back there with my stick. I gotta buck him on his over here. But anyway, I could even broke his glasses. But that isn't what I want to do. All I want to do is make a big ass out of him. You know, literally. He's going to throw that big body at me and it goes. And the other one comes the other way. Yeah. That's all you got to do. Because that distance from there to here is nothing to trade because you've already got it. He turns an elbow, well, it's just what you got to do. Just let it roll in, roll in. If it does come in, you can always turn it under. Because the biggest leverage you got is your face. So you want to be able to accept a force that's coming to you so that you can turn it back. It doesn't take anything. You know, if somebody hits me in the head and I can grab his hand and hit my head again my way, then I've got something that's going to be hurt. It's going to be his hand. I might have a lump. Then I'm going to have him, so he's going to think about twice about sticking on me again. Then I can hear what I say.
So I mean, if I try to hit you here, you're going to make me hit you there?
Well, I can do that. Because the whole part about it, if that's coming to so much power, I'm going to let it hit. And then after it hits here, I'm going to turn it for it. You know, and if I got to elbow him up into the armpit, slap down and grab him by his gonads, that's what I'm going to do. If I got to do it from the back or the front, as long as he's in my rhythm. And the only way you can develop your rhythm is to accept his. So that's what we're doing. We're trying to accept the rhythm of what's going on because accepting the force to you, you can always start it. If you can't steer it, that's like driving a car. You're going to go for a pole, you don't go, and grab your gun and say, oh, no, this is going to hurt. No, you got it. You steer away, you got it. It's the same thing you do with your opponent. But this is not your opponent. This is your training facility so you can touch and feel and get out of the way of what it's going to take to save your bacon and go from there. If you've got to put a dominant force on somebody that you're training with, well then what we ought to do is start Papa Joe's full contact circuit right here in this dojo. Because that's not
We're not going to do that.
No, we don't want to do that because the biggest part about all of it is that you've got to be able to accept somebody that's not going to hurt you to fall back to accepting more force than you want to handle. Because if you can turn it and use it to benefit you, you've got to smash a guy's fist on your head. You know, headbutting is nothing that's going to get you all I'm trying to get you to do is to do something without thinking about it. Just stand there and move and don't try to be a dominant force. All you're going to be is a touching force. A moving to make your hands do something that you're not thinking about. It's touch and feel. And when you start handing hands off, you're doing the same thing. What you're actually doing is if this was a 1-2 technique, which way are you going to do it? Now, you make up your mind because
Here, I'll do it this way.
if I got this, and this hand's coming right behind it, no, I'm going to end up putting this here.
This is my more natural rhythm.
Well, isn't it?
That's right. I used to be able to hit people with that. Get behind me, Lee.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna just slide over here a little bit.
That's all you do.
And we'll right there's that.
Awesome. Everyone understand?
Yes,
Yes.
Yes, sir.
He was directing Paul's going. He's got a freight train attitude. And when he goes down the track, he goes down the track.
He taught me right up the middle, and I'll tell you how many times that pays off because you get people moving back and away from you. But a few fighters that are trained that can redirect you, they just use that against you.
But once you get that blast, once you get that reach out and touching thing, you're in a whole different ballgame because the seriousness part about anything like that, you know, you can sit there eating ice cream, the guy can come up, throw a punch at you and go,
I'd like that,
no, but that...
especially if it's chocolate.
Yeah, it could be. Not with me though. No, but you actually have that rhythm to be able to do what you got to do.
Right.
You know, so the big thing about that is not try to be forceful, but try to be not dominant. Just be there. Just be there. Don't try to get no secret hand movement because there's none. The biggest part about a secret is you write it down and stick it in your wallet so your old lady don't find it. Oh, who said that? Be good. But you got to be able to get the movements.
There are different levels of secrets.
Yeah, so the whole part about is you can be the hardest person in the world, but you also got to be the dangerous person. You know, you can practice all the strength you want. You can divert strength. And if you can't divert strength, then you're not doing something right. Because the biggest part about all of it is the bigger the force, the more you can turn it. Now, we're talking about being able to get your hand between your opponent and yourself. And that's all we're trying to do. With no thought at all. Just, if it comes out this way, make sure the hand is in between you and them. And the more you do this here, the more it's going to be an easier task because the whole part about all of it is that when it comes, it comes. If you make a boo-boo, you don't want it, you're going to suffer the consequences. But keep doing hand, touch hand, touch hand, touch hand, and you start moving hands to where the head that he's touching is his own, then we're up on another level then.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, he said they're supposed to be doing that.
Oh, this.
Yeah, if we're here, if we're out here, you know, facing each other off, that's right. And we've got this kind of a movement to where you're falling and touching, all you're doing is actually making a hand loose, where he's actually is going to have to get out of his realm of his hand movements to fall into the easier stuff, which would be full contact. But we're not doing full contact. All we're doing is being sissies here, trying to get your hand and be able to divert your hand and get that.
I pay attention mostly when I see you. He lines that up. He's like, if it was a spear, he'd have a spear that goes through both hands, pinned to my body, or pinned off to an imaginary wall or something. You know, so it's a lineup.
Yeah, because that's what you literally want to do.
He's stuffing me with that.
It's actually exactly what you're doing. But it's not really a stuff. It's just handing him his other hand. If he's going to do anything with it.
It feels like a stuff.
No, but if I put any kind of a resistance to it or a direction to divert his hands from, I don't want to divert him because they're going to come back with force. I don't want the force. I want him to take that hand out of there and say, here it is, go back, and get him to move it. Get the feeling of no pressure. Because when these hands come in, you're going to know exactly where these are going to be. Because that's going to be one of your marks, where you have literally hand out and start.
Thanks, man.
So, you see, that's what I want to get you into, just to be able to push it out, lift it up, start.
Excellent. Let's take a quick break, get some water in you, and we'll come back and work on those three things. Same again?
Yeah, we want to be able to.
Move it out, and then, and strikes.